For the last 3 years, the rules of artificial intelligence seemed simple. If you wanted the world's smartest AI, you had to pay for it. The best models, the best reasoning, the best coding, the biggest breakthroughs, they all came from a handful of American companies. And every few months, they became even more expensive. Everyone believed that's how the AI race would be won. Build the smartest model, lock it behind a subscription, charge the world to use it. Then, something happened that almost nobody expected. It didn't come from Silicon Valley. It didn't come from OpenAI. It didn't come from Google. It came from a Chinese company that until recently, most people outside the AI world had never even heard of. And within days, developers around the world stopped asking one question. Which AI is the smartest? They started asking something far more dangerous. Why are we paying for AI at all? That single question sent shockwave through the industry. Because this wasn't just another chatbot. This wasn't another benchmark battle. This was an attack on the entire business model of modern artificial intelligence. And if it works, it could change the AI industry forever. So, who was behind the AI that suddenly made the entire industry stop and pay attention? It wasn't OpenAI, it wasn't Google, it wasn't Anthropic. It was a Chinese startup called Moonshot AI. And until recently, outside of China, very few people had even heard its name. That's what made this story so surprising. Because in the AI industry, the biggest announcements usually come from the biggest companies. OpenAI, Google, Meta, Microsoft. Companies worth hundreds of billions, sometimes even trillions of dollars. Moonshot wasn't supposed to be the company that changed the conversation. But then it released something called Kimi K3. At first glance, it looked like just another AI model, another company, another launch, another headline that would disappear after a few days. But developers who actually started testing it noticed something unusual. The model wasn't just fast, it wasn't just capable. It was competing with some of the most advanced AI systems in the world across coding, reasoning, and general tasks. And then came the real surprise. Moonshot didn't hide it behind an expensive subscription. It released Kimi K3 as an open-weight model. Now, if you've never heard the term open-weight before, don't worry, because this single idea is the reason this story matters. Imagine one day, Apple announces the most powerful iPhone ever created. People line up around the world. Everyone expects it to cost thousands of dollars. But instead, Apple says, we're giving the engineering blueprints to everyone. Suddenly, developers, researchers, universities, and even small startups can study how it works, build on top of it, and create their own products using that foundation. That's not a perfect comparison, but it's close enough to understand why the AI community reacted the way it did. For years, the AI industry has mostly moved in one direction: build a better model, keep the most powerful version behind closed doors, charge businesses and consumers to access it. Every new generation became more powerful, but also more expensive. Then companies in China began taking a different approach. Instead of only asking, how do we build the smartest AI? They also asked, what happens if we let more people build with it? That's a completely different philosophy. Because the goal isn't only to create one successful product, it's to create an ecosystem. Think about Android. Google didn't become successful simply because it made one phone. It created an operating system that thousands of companies could build upon. That ecosystem became one of Android's greatest strengths. Now imagine applying that same idea to artificial intelligence. Instead of one company creating every AI application, thousands of developers around the world can build new tools, new assistants, new businesses, and new ideas on top of powerful open models. That's why Kimi K3 became much bigger than just another chatbot. It represented something much larger, a challenge to the way the AI industry has been operating. But if giving away such a powerful model sounds like a terrible business decision, why would any company do it? That question has an answer. And once you understand it, you'll realize this was never just about Kimi K3. It was about changing the rules of the AI race itself. So, why would a company spend enormous amounts of money building one of the world's most capable AI models, only to let the world build on top of it? At first, it sounds completely irrational. Imagine spending billions of dollars creating the fastest sports car ever built, then handing the engine design to everyone else. No investor would recommend that. No business school would teach that. So, what's really going on? To understand China's strategy, we need to stop thinking about AI as a product and start thinking about it as infrastructure. Let's go back 20 years. When Android was first released, Many people thought Google had made a huge mistake. Why would a company give away a mobile operating system for free? Wouldn't that destroy its own business? Instead, the exact opposite happened. Phone manufacturers adopted Android. App developers started building for Android. Millions of users joined the ecosystem. And before long, Android became the world's most widely used mobile operating system. Google didn't win because it sold Android. Google won because everyone started building on Android. Now, replace Android with artificial intelligence. That's the strategy many Chinese AI companies appear to be pursuing. The goal isn't simply to convince millions of people to use one chatbot. The goal is much bigger. Imagine thousands of startups, universities, researchers, and software companies, all building new products on top of powerful OpenAI models. Every new application improves the ecosystem. Every new developer expands it. Every new breakthrough strengthens it. Suddenly, success is no longer measured by how many monthly subscriptions you sell. It's measured by how many people build with your technology. That's a completely different game. And it's exactly why Kimi K3 attracted so much attention. Because it wasn't competing only with ChatGPT, it was competing with an entire business philosophy. For years, the AI industry has been driven by one simple idea: the smartest AI wins. But China is introducing another possibility. Maybe the AI that everyone can build on wins instead, and history suggests that idea shouldn't be ignored. Think about the internet. No single company owns it. Think about Linux. It's open. Yet today, Linux powers much of the world's servers, cloud infrastructure, and even Android. Think about Python. It's free. Yet it's become one of the most important programming languages in artificial intelligence. Sometimes, the technologies that spread the fastest aren't the ones that are the most expensive. They're the ones that allow millions of people to innovate. And that's the question keeping many people in Silicon Valley awake. What happens if powerful AI becomes something anyone can build upon, instead of something only a few companies control? Because if that happens, the companies that dominate AI tomorrow may not be the ones with the most subscribers. They may be the ones with the biggest ecosystem. And that's where this story becomes even bigger than Moonshot AI. Because Kimi K3 isn't the only Chinese model following this direction. In fact, it's part of something much larger that's been quietly growing over the past few years. And once you see the full picture, you'll understand why so many people believe the AI race has entered an entirely new chapter. At this point, it might be tempting to think this entire story is about one company, one AI model, one breakthrough. It isn't. Because Kimi K3 didn't appear out of nowhere. It's part of something much bigger. For years, while much of the world's attention was focused on OpenAI, Google, and Anthropic, China was quietly building an entire AI ecosystem. One company released a powerful coding model, another focused on reasoning, another pushed open-weight AI, another improved multilingual capabilities. Individually, each announcement looked interesting. Together, they started looking like a strategy. Today, names like DeepSeek, Qwen, GLM, Minimax, and now Kimi are appearing one after another. Different companies, different founders, different ideas, but all moving in the same direction. Instead of waiting for one company to dominate everything, China's AI industry is becoming a network of companies competing, learning from one another, and constantly pushing the pace forward. Think about a Formula One race. If only one team is competing, progress is slow. But when 10 elite teams are fighting for first place, every race produces new innovations. That's exactly what's happening here. Every new model forces every other company to improve. A better reasoning model appears. Someone responds with faster coding. Then another company reduces costs. Then someone else releases more open capabilities. The cycle repeats again and again. And every round moves the entire industry forward. This is why so many developers are excited. They're no longer choosing between just one or two serious options. Every few months, another highly capable model enters the conversation, and every new release puts pressure on everyone else. Pressure to become smarter, pressure to become cheaper, pressure to become more accessible. In the end, competition benefits the people using the technology, because every company is forced to innovate faster than before. And here's the part many people overlook. This isn't only a competition between China and the United States. American companies continue to lead in several critical areas, including many frontier AI models, advanced AI infrastructure, and cutting-edge research. But China's rapid progress has changed one important assumption. For a long time, many people believed only a small number of companies could build world-class AI. That assumption no longer looks as certain. Today, the AI race is becoming more competitive, more global, and far less predictable. And that may be the biggest surprise of all. Because once competition reaches this level, nobody can afford to slow down. Not OpenAI, not Google, not Anthropic, not Moonshot, not anyone. The finish line keeps moving. And every breakthrough forces the next breakthrough to happen even faster. Which brings us back to the question we asked at the very beginning. Did China really break artificial intelligence? Or did it break something even bigger? At the beginning of this video, I said China didn't just build another AI model. It changed the rules of the AI race. Now you know why. This was never just the story of Kimi K3. It was the story of an idea. For years, the AI industry believed there was only one path to success. Build the smartest model, keep it behind closed doors, charge users every month. Repeat. That strategy created some of the most impressive AI systems the world has ever seen. But it also created a world where access to the best AI often depended on how much you were willing to pay. Then another approach started gaining momentum. Build powerful AI. Let more developers experiment with it. Allow companies to build on top of it. Grow an ecosystem instead of simply growing subscriptions. Whether that approach ultimately wins, nobody knows. We're still in the early chapters of the AI revolution. The companies leading today may not be the companies leading 5 years from now. History has taught us that technology changes incredibly fast. There was a time when BlackBerry ruled smartphones. Then came Apple. There was a time when Nokia seemed unstoppable. Then Android changed everything. The companies that looked untouchable suddenly weren't. Artificial intelligence could follow the same pattern. Not because today's leaders aren't brilliant, but because every breakthrough creates room for another breakthrough. And that's exactly what's happening right now. Every new model, whether it comes from the United States, China, or anywhere else, raises the standard for everyone. Competition forces innovation. Innovation creates better technology. And better technology benefits all of us. But one thing is becoming impossible to ignore. China is no longer just following the global AI race. It's helping shape where that race goes next. And Kimi K3 is another reminder of that shift. Not because it's perfect, not because it wins every benchmark, but because it challenged one of the biggest assumptions in modern AI, that the most capable systems must always remain closed. That idea is now being questioned more than ever before. And if more companies begin embracing powerful open models, the AI industry of tomorrow could look completely different from the one we know today. Maybe that's what breaking AI really means. Not breaking the technology, breaking the old way of thinking. Because the biggest revolutions rarely happen when someone builds something slightly better. They happen when someone changes the rules everyone else has been following. Whether Moonshot AI started that revolution or simply accelerated it, only time will tell. But one thing is certain. The AI race is no longer just about who builds the smartest model. It's about who shapes the future of artificial intelligence itself. And after everything we've seen today, that future just became a lot more interesting. If you enjoy discovering the technology stories that everyone else notices too late, then you're exactly where you need to be. Subscribe to Byte Dynasty, because the next breakthrough that changes the world probably won't come with a warning. And when it happens, we'll be here to uncover the story behind it. Until next time, stay curious.